Can you be quiet because I'm on a training call? Give him some hot water.
Hi, Chris.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Did you turn the controls over to Cassandra yet?
I'm in the process of it. I'm trying to mute everybody.
If you want to, if you want to give it to me, I'll take care of that because I know how distracting it could be. While she's trying to, I can do that for you.
Give me 1 second. Let me do that.
Good job.
I'm trying to figure all this stuff out. And I'm working from 2 devices, which is really good. All right. Let me. We're almost about to get started, guys. I'm trying to figure out how to do. Oh, here we go. Let's see if that's the tab. It's different on the computer and the phone, so I'm like, here we go. Boom. Tony Garcia, you are now host. All right, guys, you guys are in for a treat. Casandra Nagal, it's all you.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thank you guys so much for showing up to this Getting Started Saturday morning training. It takes a lot for you guys to come on here and really work on yourselves and help build your business and really take it to the next level. So we really appreciate you guys all being here and taking the time to really invest in yourselves and go through this. So good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. Shout out to all the new people who are on here and for taking that first step into the right direction of your business. I am Casandra Nagal, as Chris said. So I'm a registered massage therapist in Canada, Ontario. I have 2 kids, a 10-year-old who's going on 28 with attitude. She's crazy, I swear. And then my 12-year-old son. Both of them play travel hockey, and it leads to a pretty busy schedule. But I started this business here, just to give you guys a quick little background, like Chris was saying earlier, back in December 2017. So one of the original people who came on, and the reason why I decided to come on to this was purely based on community. So I hadn't even tried the product when I joined here in this business. And so for all of you who still don't have product, start working. You don't need to have the product. There's so many amazing stories here that you can move ahead with until you get your product. We had so many ups and downs back then, and it was like 2 months, I think, before I got my product. Mike Messina, Cassandra Monday actually came out and gave me a sample, which was awesome. And that first time that I took it, I was like, wow, this product literally speaks for itself. How lucky are we going to be in a position where we have a product that literally within 25 minutes speaks for itself right in front of people's eyes. So that's phenomenal. I know that when we all get started, sometimes we have the fear of the unknown, and we also have the fear of missing out at the same time. So it can lead to kind of like a flip-flop of insecurity and overwhelm and unsure what to do and where to go and how do I do this and how do I do that. And so this call here, the Getting Started morning call, is going to be one of your primary tools that you're going to use to be able to work this business. As leaders, you can see there's people on here, Chris Schweda, Tony, Shane, Francisco, like there's these leaders who still show up to these calls every morning on Saturdays because it's just the place to be to really grow your business. You get to learn how different leaders teach, how different leaders do, and you get to really take that into your life and be able to bring it to a whole other level. So we're constantly learning too. We still run into that fear, that overwhelm. We still run into all of that stuff. So being able to do this is something that we're able to give back to our community. So don't worry about the flip-flop. Don't worry about that. Just plug in, stay consistent, keep going with what you're doing. I want to bring up the tools here quickly that you do have so that I don't forget them. I tend to rabbit trail sometimes, guys, so I've tried to create a set of notes to follow here. But I want to get those tools out to you right away. So I'm actually going to click send in here. And you guys will see in your chat area that I've included all of the links and everything that you need for your Getting Started toolkit. So Monday nights, we have a Team Rise call. So this is a very motivational call. Chris Schweda kills this call every week. It's something that, you know, I have a saying, if you're having a bad day, get on a call because you need the call. If you're having a good day, get on the call because the call needs you. You know, you want to share that motivation. You want to share that energy as you go. And Chris is phenomenal at doing this week in and week out on the Monday night calls. And that's at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. The links are in the chat there. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, we also have an opportunity call. This is a great way to start building your story base as you're coming into the business, especially if you do not have your own story at this point. You can log onto this call and there's testimonies, there's information, there's all kinds of amazing, amazing stuff that you can get out of that call. Again, as leaders, we're on all of these calls. You will see us there. If we can be there, we will be there. The wonderful thing, just to mention quickly as well, is that they are all recorded also. Okay, so all of these calls are going to be recorded and there's going to be a place for them. That is also in the link here that I've included, the zoomreplay.com. Thank you again to Chris Schweda because he's created this, I believe, and started that so that we can always go back and look at what we want. If there's a call that we really liked, we can continue to use it. Okay. Again, we have the Saturday morning call for all of you who are here already. Thank you for coming on. This is one of the biggest building blocks for your business is getting on these calls. We'll go through some plays that work. We'll go through different things. Every leader has their own little spin on it, but we really have a wonderful system that works here. And then the team pages I've included in there as well. Our community Team Rise Ellepreneur page, which is like the mothership of our business, of our team. Phenomenal page. You'll see all kinds of stuff on there. And then the Team Rise community page, which is our customer page. Amongst your teams, you might have different pages as well. You might have a couple of different customer pages, or you might have different team pages. Connect into those as well. And then, of course, a wonderful tool, I believe Bob is the one who created it, ahappydose.com. This is where you'll find a generic form of all of your links in one area. So it won't be your link directly, but it will give the link to the videos for people to follow through on. Bob does have an amazing system that was mentioned on last week's call that you're able to plug into and get a funnel for your own links if you wanted to. So definitely go back to last week's call and check in on that because that's going to be an amazing tool for you if you want to move forward with that. Essentially in this business, I'm like all over the place sometimes, like I said, guys, so bear with me on this. In this business, we have an easy system that works. And the way that I really like to explain it, and I've adapted this throughout listening to some of these calls, is it's a 4-step system, right? So the first step of us starting this business is we've gotten in and we've tried the product, potentially. Some of us have not, right? So we've tried the product. 2 is we fall in love with the product and our story that's going along with it. So how we're feeling, we're building that story as we go along. So that's step 2. Step 3 is now you're sharing your story with people. Literally, it's kind of like being a customer who's trying the product for the first time and you just want to share to everybody how you feel in this product. And I relate this a lot to my team. I tell them, stay in a customer mind frame because as soon as you go into a business mind frame, you start becoming salesy and you start vomiting on people all over the place. The ingredients, what the product does, oh my God, and then this, and then oh my God, that. And you just start going berserk and all over the place. And it's kind of one of those things that you kind of scare people away, right? They're like, whoa, 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 this is too much. I'm not interested anymore. I don't want to deal with this, right? So you want to stay in the customer mindset with this. And you really just, it's almost like going to a steakhouse. Let me put it this way. I think probably everybody on here loves steak to a certain degree, right? You're going out to the steakhouse and you're getting the steak and you're getting the potatoes and you're getting the asparagus or whatever on the side. And then you want the dessert and you've had a phenomenal evening. You've maybe had a drink or two, you know, you're with friends. The atmosphere is wonderful. You don't go tell people about all of that. You just go, oh my gosh, you know what? I ate at the Keg last night. I had the most amazing meal. My server was amazing. That was phenomenal. People aren't going to say, hey, what grade of meat did you eat? Hey, you know, like what kind of potatoes did you have? Were they Yukon Gold or were they like the red potatoes? Like they don't start dissecting it. This is the same thing here. Okay. We're staying in that customer mindset. We're staying in the sharing our excitement, sharing our love for the product, what it did for us, our story, and we're not moving forward from that. And then we come to that 4th piece, which ties greatly into this, and that's the connect piece. If somebody happens to say, Hey, how was that potato? Was it a Yukon Gold? I don't know. I just ate the potatoes. However, my friend Mike is amazing at understanding some of this. Let me connect you with him. So I'm going to go over that again. I tend to talk fast, guys, so slow me down if you need to. Put your hands up, do whatever you need. But number 1, you're trying the product. Number 2, you're loving the product. Number 3, so loving the product is like being a product of the product, right? Number 3, you're sharing your story or somebody else's story with the product. Those calls that I was talking about, you'll get some wonderful stories. And then number 4 is connect. If somebody does want to know what's in the coffee, what are the ingredients, what's this, what's that, connect them. This is part of, for those of you who were on right in the beginning where Chris said we developed like this thing, like we all kind of work together, is connecting. We have a really strong, solid community base of people, and connect is the most important thing ever. You never want to be the expert in your own business with this because you're going to vomit on people. You're going to give too much information. People are going to think if they want to join the business, they don't want to anymore because you have to know A through Z on everything, right? You don't want to be the expert. You just want to be able to connect people with somebody else. It gives us that third-party validation, but it also gives that customer, potential affiliate down the road, the opportunity to see that this is something that anybody can do. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what your background is. You know that you love the product. You know that it's working for you, and you know that you can connect them with somebody. And that's so important in the business that we're doing. We're not salespeople here. We're literally just sharing a product and helping people change their lives. Better than anybody else's. So being a product of the product is so super important because you want to be able to share your story because you're going to know your story 100% through and through. Sharing Bob's story, sharing Tony's story, sharing Sarah's story, you may miss a little nugget here or there. So as you go, build your story as well. I hope that's making sense for everybody. Again, I tend to talk a little fast sometimes. So those are mainly the key 4 points that I would say if you're in this business already, if you're new and you're starting today, focus on that, focus on really building yourself into those steps and building your faith in the product and the company, because that's going to be so important for you. You're going to learn the back office as you go. It's pretty simple. They've made it really nice. I love our back office, but don't spend hours learning that because the hours you're spending learning that are hours that you're missing talking with people and sharing the opportunity and sharing your story, right? It will all come together. I promise you guys that. As you're going along, think about who you can help. When you're just getting started here, some people go back and they call it the list or they call it whatever. Inevitably, when you start something, even as a customer, you think about friends or you think about family members or you think about people who would benefit from this product based on what you're benefiting. If you know somebody who has depression or anxiety, not that we use those words in public because we don't make medical claims, right? But if you know somebody who has that and that's what the product helped you with, then they're an easy person to talk to. Now, again, you don't want to go vomit on them and say, oh my God, you wouldn't believe it. I got this. You need to try it. You need to do this. You need to do that. Create conversation with people. Be normal human being. We're not these aliens now that we're into this sales place where we have to go and we have to just completely educate people on it and do all these things. Just be a normal human being. Create that conversation. Come from a place of love and from a place of your heart. And if you do that, you will not go wrong in this business. I can assure you that. We have a product that helps on such a deep level in so many ways that if we follow through with that love and that heart and that commitment to not only ourselves, but to society, and we become servants for society to help them to move forward, you're not going to go wrong. There's nothing that you can really do here, and every opportunity counts. Start listening. I know on some of our morning huddle calls, we talk about, people being in grocery lines and people want to talk to people. The social media thing has gotten so out of hand with a lot of people, and I'm not going to put it down because that's personally how I work my business often. But, it's become so far to the scope of people are literally in lines texting to people. just turn around and say a friendly hello. Tell somebody that their shirt is really nice. You know, I had a gentleman do this with me the other day, actually in the line. And I was that person who was on my phone quickly sending a message. And he was an older gentleman, and he kind of looked at me and he was like, "You look like you're super busy right now." And I was like, "Pardon me." You know, it took me off guard, and I like, this is what I do often. So I didn't know. And I was like, wow, you know, I was in that mode. And then he started asking me about my fruits and vegetables. And I was like, this is how society used to conduct themselves. This is how we used to make friends in the past, you know, like moving forward in the future. Why don't we bring some of that back? It's so super important for us to have that one-on-one connectivity with people in person, that it fuels us up again. And so we ended up talking a little bit, him and I then I ended up paying for his groceries just as a gesture. I try to do something once a month where I do that, right? But the girl at the cash recognized that. When I was in there 2 days later, she was like, "Hey, that was really nice of you. Like, why do you do that?" And so it gave me an opportunity to now talk to her and open up to her and say, you know, I just want the world to be a happier place. And I work with this business that is all about happiness. And I was able to kind of drip on her. Right. So that's one of my other points. Drip on people. People will remember you. And as you drip, they're going to become more and more interested. They say that it takes about 7 times for somebody to hear something or to see something before it comes back into full recognition and they really understand that they're interested in something. So if you're dripping on people as you go, then this is going to just happen naturally, and people are going to turn around and ask you. Okay. I'm in love with the drip method. Another example is I was on the phone the other day booking a hotel room with the Holiday Inn, and I ended up getting transferred to another guy because I was like chosen to be the specific person to win a timeshare meeting for free. And I was like, whatever, I'll listen. Why? Because that's another opportunity to connect with somebody. So I listened to this guy, and we talked. And as we were talking and he was getting information, he said, "Sorry, you're my last person of the day. Like, I'm super tired." Because he offered me one option. And I said, "Well, what if I want to stay more days? How does that work?" And he said, "Oh," he's like, "you're the last person. I didn't even think to offer you that option because I'm just so tired and I just don't know what to do. And at this time of night, sometimes, you know, I just need to like get through my day." And I said, "Oh, that's really funny." You know, I said, "I actually have a business that I help people get through their days and have more energy and focus so that they don't miss the sale like you might have just missed." You know, and he said, "Oh, what is that?" And I said, "Oh, well, do you drink coffee?" And he said, "Well, yeah, who doesn't drink coffee?" I said, "Exactly, right? Who doesn't? There's like 10 people on the planet, I think, that don't drink coffee," you know, and I just kind of joked about it. Well, he's signing up for a promoter tomorrow, actually, like to become an affiliate with us. That was over the phone, guys. Like, people are waiting for us. They're like, "Where are you? We want your coffee." It's just a matter of just being naturally who you are and not thinking at the end of the day about the sale. Just genuinely open those conversations, plant the seeds, drip a little bit, and eventually things will come through and they'll harvest, right? I ended up giving him my cell phone number. Obviously, he was putting it into the system, and I told him, I said, "You know, contact me and just message me through your text and let me know when I go back to it later, just because I am a little busy right now helping other people with their happiness too, you know?" And he did. He texted me within like 15 minutes. One of my girls was here doing some training with me at that point. She was like, "What in the world? I never thought of that." It's just these little things, right? There's opportunities everywhere. And I'm sorry I'm not reading the chat right now, guys. I will get to it. It's just I'll totally get off track and lose where I am with this if I do read that right now. But keep posting in there if you have questions and stuff, because I will get to it. Anyway, dripping on people is so important. I do this all the time, no matter where I am. You know, as a massage therapist, sometimes I'm massaging people and they talk a lot. And so that's a tool that I'm able to use as I go along. And when they talk and they ask questions, I always find a way to bring up that I have 2 businesses. And, you know, it intrigues them. They're like, "What's your second business? What are you doing?" And so I'm able to get into conversation like that. You know, you meet somebody walking down the road and you end up talking with them and, "Oh, I haven't seen you in so long. Oh my God, what's new in your life?" Guys, this happens all the time. "Oh, you know, just working my business, absolutely loving it, helping people change their lives." Drip. You don't have to come right out, "Oh my God, I have this coffee business and it's super amazing and you should try it." Try not to vomit on people. Drip on them. they'll be intrigued. They'll ask you the questions, and then they're the ones asking the questions. So now it's their option to ask you and to want to try this product because you've already put it in their court. You've made them start asking and being intrigued and coming forward without you really having to have to do anything. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm talking about dripping, just bringing little tips up as you go and little things down. And, you know, I do it all the time now. My husband laughs at me. He's like, you cannot, wherever we go, not mention something about business or coffee or, you know, oh my God, this person the other day was talking about this and this was the result. How crazy is that? Right? So it's one of those things. It becomes a little bit a part of you because you have a bigger dream and a bigger vision. And again, at the end of the day, the focus is not 100% on making that sale because then that will turn you back into a salesperson. If this is making sense, guys, let me know for you guys, or if you need me to elaborate or make any more questions. I see some thumbs ups. That's awesome. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. So going through all of that, and what I wanted to say, I had another note here. If you plant the seed, that dripping that I'm talking about, you're planting the seed for an apple tree, okay, you can't eat the fruit the next day. You have to love on the tree. You have to allow it and fertilize it and help it to grow and help it really sustain itself before you can pick the fruit from it and eat it. This is much like the process that we're going through right now. We're planting the seeds and then we're going to go and we're going to love on those seeds. We're going to follow up with those seeds. Follow up is huge. We'll go into that again after. But we're going to do that. And then we're going to be able to eventually pick the fruit and eat from that harvest, right? So that's the way I like to look at it. There's a whole long saying that I have, like a whole story that I saw somewhere once. And I read that every once in a while to remind myself that this is a process. This isn't not necessarily something that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen right now, right? So as you go, things will start to build and you'll see. Personal development is also something that's huge. This call right here for you guys, everybody coming on Saturdays and all the different leaders that are coming on here, this is providing you with some form of personal development. This is going to better you as a person, not just for your business, but for your life. And this is massive. There's different books that people recommend. I believe Shar Garcia actually was one who had a post the other day about a whole bunch of different books that she's been reading. It was maybe a month ago or something. Like, those are things, I look at those books and I'm like, what is Shar doing? I want to know what Shar's doing because she's a freaking rock star, right? I want to know this stuff. She might not know I'm watching her post, but I'm watching her post. You know, you follow the people that you want to emulate. You don't want to imitate, but you want to emulate people. And so that is something that's massive. If somebody is having success and you see what they're doing and you want to follow along with that, don't just take their posts and post them and keep duplicating that way. What you want to do is you want to make it your own. You want to figure out that you love a piece of Shar and you want to be a piece of it, but you also want to be Casandra. So you want to be yourself, right? So you want to be able to go through and really look at stuff like that. And I'm picking on you, Shar, because you're right on my screen right here. And you know I love you, girl. Anyway, so personal development is huge, you know. Become leadable, become coachable, become teachable. We're all here to help you along the way. Some of us have been doing this for years and years and years and years, you know, and we talked about this on our morning huddle the other day because it's so important to know that if this is your first rodeo, do not expect to lasso that bull and pull him in on the first try. You're just going to set yourself up for failure. And although failure is a form that leads to success, you don't have to fail so hard that the bull kicks you in the face. You can do this with grace. You can do this with help from other people, you know, just reach out, be leadable, be coachable, be teachable, and be honest with yourself, you know. Don't be the person who is, I know I should have done that. I know I should have done this. And I'm guilty. I am just as guilty as that as anybody else, guys. I've done it. I know Casandra Monday sometimes could have probably smacked me upside back forward from the head because I'm like, okay, yeah, I know I was doing that. And then she's like, are you listening? I'm like, okay, maybe I wasn't. You know, let's get back on track. But if you just bring those qualities in with you and you understand and you start listening to everything around you, to what people are trying to coach you with, teach you with, lead you with. They've been there. They've done it. They're trying to get you there faster. That's what this is all about at the end of the day. We are here to help people change their lives on such a surmountable level that it's not even comprehensible sometimes. You may not know where you're going. You may not understand what you're doing, but I promise you, if you plug in, you do these calls, you get together with your leaders, you let them know where your goals and your dreams are, this is going to take you places, okay? Personal development, and that is huge already, okay? Positioning. Give yourself credit for where you're at and celebrate every step of the way. I'm also guilty for this, guys. I forget to celebrate the small things. Every time you pique interest with somebody, celebrate it. You have done something that you couldn't have done a month ago, 2 months ago, celebrate all the small steps, because once you get to the big steps, it's just going to be unbelievable, the celebration that you can have there. And you have to love on yourself every step of the way through this. There's going to be hard times in this. There's going to be easy times in this. There's going to be times where you can do this in your sleep. And there's going to be times where it doesn't matter how many doors you knock on, so to speak, you're not going to get an answer. You need to live and grow through all those moments. It's so special and so important for your progress and your self-development as you go, okay? You have to know too, you're bringing some people into this business with you after a while, if not right away, and they're going to go through it. And so you're going to have gone through those steps, and you'll be able to help lead, coach, and teach them through those steps as well. So this is where that becomes super important, okay? One of the things that I look at with people, and that Shane and I talk about in a lot of our welcome calls whenever we have some new members that come on board, is the treasure box. You have a treasure box in your backyard. It is guaranteed that your dreams and your goals are in that treasure box. Are you going to go dig at that treasure box for a month and hit a stone and then walk away and say, this is too tough, I can't get around that stone? Or are you going to start digging with a smaller shovel to get around that stone, lift it out, and then continue digging deep down with a bigger shovel, right? That's the big thing. How long are you going to give yourself to achieve your dreams and your goals that you know are sitting in your backyard and that you know they're there? And it could take you 10 years to get that goal, but you're just going to leave it there because another stone came up or an obstacle came up. When Shane first said that, he was the first one to say that. It blew my mind because I thought about it. I've been in network marketing for a few years. I only have been doing it 5 years to really grow business before I just wanted the free necklaces and the free stuff that came with it. But now I'm growing this business, and you know what? I have dreams and I have goals, and it's not just about the income. Obviously, we all have bills to pay. There's a little part of it that's about the income. But my story is that my grandmother died when I was 12. And ever since then, I've been wanting to find something that's going to help people change their lives so that they have a longer time on this earth. So if I continue with my heart, my soul, my love about helping people literally change their lives, inevitably, at the end of the day, I will achieve my goals as well. Okay? So think about it that way, guys. Continue digging for that treasure box. Continue going around the obstacles. If you need to take a moment back and you need to sit for half a day or a day and just really recollect yourself, do that. While you're doing it, dive into a little bit of a book, even if it's 2 pages. Build up that self-confidence in yourself again. Get onto a call that's going to energize you and motivate you. Go back to the zoomreplay.com and watch a Monday night call that was already recorded. These are all ways that you can get yourself back on track, and I have them too. We all do. What I wanted to give you guys, first I want to go over this one last thought before I give you guys something, and then we'll wrap up here soon. What I wanted to say is, don't let your reason why be your reason why not, okay? We all have a reason why we've started this here. Some of our reasons make us cry. Some of them make us feel like life is not worth moving on with. Some of them make us feel like it's impossible, but we all have a why. We all have somewhere that we want to go. Don't let your why be your reason why not. One of my whys is my kids. However, my kids keep me busy. I am in hockey 7 days a week, sometimes 3 times back to back in different cities. Okay. I could so easily so easily say, you know what, I can't, I'm so busy with my kids. I'm so busy running around. I run this business and another business. I could rhyme 1,001 things off. But my reason why is so I can be with my kids more often. It's so I can be at hockey. It's so I can do all these things. So if I need to take a phone call in the vehicle while I'm driving my kids to hockey, I'm still with my kids. I'm still there while I'm in the hockey arena, being able to be present. If I use them as an excuse not to do this business, I don't have the opportunity to be with them at their hockey, right? Guys, it's so important for you to know, do not let your why be your why not. It happens time and time again. I see it. I see it all over the place. I see it in the other businesses I was in. I see people allowing their whys to become their overwhelming responses to why they're not doing this anymore. And you're never going to get ahead if you keep holding yourself back in life. Determine what you're willing to give up to gain later. That's another thing that I say to my team a lot. Right now, my son has lacrosse tryouts, but next weekend, he has a hockey championship game. I was supposed to do this recording next weekend, and my dear friend Francisco gracefully changed spots with me. I am giving up being at my son's lacrosse tryout so that I can be at his championship game next week. That's more important. Sit down at the beginning of the month or at the end of the month previous and look at your schedule and figure out what your absolute no's are. What am I not willing to give up this month? And then work yourself in and around that. This has helped me so much be able to sit down and focus on where I'm able to give more to my business and where I have to take a little bit away so that I can be with my kids, so that I can move forward and fulfill my dream of being that mom who's there at the important moments. Right? Our minds are powerful. We will talk ourselves out of anything. It's like, oh, it's time to do that training call. But you know what? Really today, I'm just not feeling it. I know it'll make me better, but I'm just not going to do it. Who cares? Just do it. Just get on the call. Even if you're driving, listen in. If you have to go catch the replay because you heard something you like later, go catch the replay. I'm waving to this cute little boy in the corner over here. Anyways, get out of your mind, get out of your way and just move forward with it. Like I said, sit at the beginning of the month with your calendar or at the end of the month before you go in and really look at it. If you have a kid or a husband or a wife or a friend or somebody who has a birthday party and you are not available from 3 till 7 on Saturday, block it off, turn your phone off, don't even pick it up, make that commitment to yourself as well, right? But then be sure to get back on the horse the next day and figure out where you can add in your hours to work and make that commitment to yourself too. You've made a commitment to join this business, commit to it. Don't allow it to be a hobby. Work it, make it happen. And in a year from now, I guarantee you your life is going to be 100% different. Okay. Make sure you're not giving up on yourself. That's another thing. Do not give up, because if you're giving up on yourself and you're giving up on your dreams and your goals. I get so passionate about this because my husband in the beginning of this was a no-go. He was mad that I joined this business. He was like, you're crazy. I don't know what you're doing. You failed before. You're going to fail again. I don't understand why you keep doing this. He was like, stop it right now. And I was like, nope, I'm going to go because I have dreams and goals and I know I'm going to achieve them and I'm going to keep trucking along. It's like that little train that can, right? And I did. And thankfully I did, because our lives are in a totally different place today. I'm a totally different person than I was a year and a half ago. I could not have done this call a year and a half ago without shutting off my screen and just walking away. I was nervous today. I'm not going to lie, but that's all, again, about positioning. If I come on and I'm like, hey guys, I'm super nervous. I'm so sorry. What's going on? I'm going to be super nervous and I'm not going to get through the call. So it's really super important that you guys really don't give up on yourselves. Your dreams and your goals are worth it. You're here for a reason. You've come here for a reason. You met somebody who brought you here for a reason. Everything is for a reason. Okay. What I want to leave you guys with at the end before we log off here and end this call, because I want to be mindful of your time on this Saturday, is an hour broken down into different increments of time that you can use to work your business over social media. I'm a big social media fan because it allows me to be with my kids more. Remember my why? To be with my kids. So this is why I'm huge over social media. I really love it. And I realized recently that I wasn't taking the full advantage of it. So this is a social media breakdown, your daily method of operation for 1 hour. Okay. I'm going to try to do this slow. Again, I talk super fast sometimes, guys, and I'm really trying to slow myself down. I'm like going to stumble amongst my words here. Anyway, so your first 15 minutes, and you can break this up. It doesn't have to be 1 hour back to back. Let me clarify that. You can break it up throughout the day, especially if you're working a 9 to 5 still and you're really trying to figure out where to fit your time in. Okay. 15 minutes of prospecting. Message 15 people in 15 minutes with the intention somewhere to ask if they are open to checking out your product or your business. Again, we're not vomiting on people. We're not going out and messaging people and saying, hey, you want to hear about my coffee? Hey, you want to hear about my business opportunity? Hey, you look like you could use more money. No, we're not doing that. Okay. We're literally just opening up that conversation. We're starting, and then we're going to drip on something. If this is somebody who's new into your business, or new into your Facebook page, you're going to drip on them. Hey, how are you? Thanks for connecting. If you added them, so I'll give you this little tip that I do to keep myself organized. If I added them to Facebook, I message immediately once they accept and say, hey, thank you so much for connecting. If they added me to Facebook, I message them right away after I accept and I say, hey, thanks for reaching out and connecting. This way I know who made that first contact and who connected who on Facebook. Okay. And then later on, as you're going through conversation, oh, so what is it that you do? I see on your page, this is this. When you ask somebody what they do, it's like 90% of the time they're going to come back and ask you what you do. And that's when you can say whatever your little elevator speech is, right? Like, oh, I just help people obtain the most accurate health and wealth they can, or something like that, right? It's different. I change it up all the time. I don't use the same thing. Anyway, 15 minutes of prospecting. Then you're going to go into 10 minutes of commenting on the most recent posts of those 15 people. Facebook has their algorithms. They don't want people working their businesses over Facebook. What they want is for you to be socializing. So this is super important to go on and socialize with people. So you're already opening up to those people through Messenger. You're already connecting with them. Now you want to go comment on their stuff as well to show some interest. I sometimes do this step like ahead of going and commenting on or messaging people, to be honest, because I want to comment. I don't want it to go look like I'm commenting just because I message them, right? So 10 minutes of commenting, then 10 minutes doing a live or making a curiosity post. The majority of us here use attraction marketing. So we don't post specifically about coffee, or we don't put everything out there publicly. We use the attraction marketing or curiosity marketing, whatever. So making a curiosity post is something that's super important, or doing a live if you're comfortable doing that and you have time doing that. If you're not comfortable doing a live, get uncomfortable. Go do it. Just do it. I swear it'll be like the best thing ever once you finally do it. And the adrenaline and everything you get, you'll want to work for like 5 hours after, because you're like, I don't know what to do. I just did that. Right? So just go do it. Anyways, what you can also do is do an intriguement post at that point as well. So I made a post the other day about water bottles, different water. And I can't believe how many different water bottles there are. Which water bottles which ones do you use if you're out in public? And if you want my 6 tips to how to drink more water, just type tips in the comments below, and then I'll send it to you. So you're attracting that person to come and comment on your post and give their option, because everybody wants to talk about themselves, guys. Everybody wants you to know about themselves. And then they're going to ask you for tips. So now you have a reason to inbox them. Okay. So 15 minutes prospecting, 10 minutes commenting, 10 minutes doing a live, making a curiosity post or an intriguing post, and then 15 minutes of follow-up. Okay. So 15 minutes of follow-up a day. Follow-up is so important, because you want to know where those people are at. You want to know what's going on. You want to stay in their lives. You want to stay active with them. Okay. And then the last 10 minutes is any constructive money generating activity of your choice. So you can add value in Facebook groups so that you're building yourself up and your brand up in Facebook groups. So if you're into crocheting, join some crocheting groups and start posting in there. If you're into hunting, go into those hunting groups and talk about hunting and build some friendships there, so you're adding value, different things that people are going to be intrigued by. You can also add more friends to Facebook. Right? So sometimes I just randomly go add people. Sometimes I add people from groups. Sometimes I just go look at who doesn't have any common friends that I have and add them, so I can start building a relationship there. And then interact and post with them again. So those are some money generating or income producing activities. Another thing that I really like is the Facebook friends lists. If you are not familiar with Facebook friends lists and how to categorize people on Facebook to make your life easier, I have a training that I've done on it for my team. Just private message me outside of this and I'll send it to you. See, call of action. But I'm doing that just because it would take me way too long to go over that here. And it honestly helps organize your Facebook in a completely different manner than you never knew, because you can go unfollow a ton of people, but then click on that Facebook list and just go love on those people. So I personally have a prospect list. I have